So now we need to solve equations by factoring in situations where we have a coefficient of the x squared term that's not 1, right? We've done this where our coefficient of the x squared term is 1. And so now if we do it when it's not 1, we do it the exact same way, right? This is our original polynomial equal to 0. We factor it using our diamond method. And then we set each, this is our a, our b, and our c. So if a times b times c is equal to 0, then that means a, b, or c is equal to 0. Now 5 can't be equal to 0, so we don't have to worry about that constant. But this expression can be equal to 0, and this polynomial here can be equal to 0 as well. So we set them both equal to 0. 4x divided by minus 3 is equal to 0. And we solve for x. And then we set x plus 1 is equal to 0. We solve for x. And those are our two possibilities. Either this is true or that's true. Right? So our answer is 3 over 4 or negative 1. So that's how we're going to do this. It's the same as what we did in the last chapter, except now we have a coefficient that's not 1. Right. So we're looking here, and let's go ahead and try solving this. It's asking us not to factor, but to solve. So we need to factor first, then apply the zero product property to solve for y. So to get this going, we need to start by subtracting 6y from both sides of the equal sign, and we'll be left with 24y squared minus 6y minus 45 is equal to 0. All right. So now that we're here and we have 0 on one side of the equal sign and our polynomial is written in standard form, we want to see if we can factor out any numbers from 24, 6, and 45. And let's see, does 6 go into 45? I don't think that's true. So 6 goes into 24, but the 6 go into 25, right? I'm sorry, 45. So 45 divided by 6. It does not. So 6 is not. I think 3 is. So we do 45 divided by 3 is 15. And then 3 goes into 6, of course. And then 3 goes into 24 8 times. So our greatest common factor here is 3. Let's go ahead and factor out a 3. And we'll get 8y squared minus 2y minus 15 is equal to 0. All right, now we have this polynomial, and we cannot reduce it further. So let's go and do our x. Right? So our a times c is going to go at the top, so it's going to be negative 120. And then our b is down at the bottom, so minus 2 at the bottom. So what two numbers multiply to negative 120 but add up to negative 2? Let's see, we have 60 times 2. That's not right. What about 30 times 4? 30 times 4 does not add up to negative 2. So for them to add up to negative 2, the two factors, they have to be very close to each other, right? Oh, and I forgot, we have a coefficient on the y squared of 8. So we need to put an 8y over here and an 8y over there, right? Okay, so what two numbers? Well, they got to be really close. So let's say 15 times 17? No, that's not it. Let's see. 10 times 12. Oh, that's a good one. 10 times 12, right, equals 120. So I'm going to put a 10 over here, a 12 over here, and they add up to negative 2. So how would they add up to negative 2? Well, our 12 needs to be negative, right? Negative 10 and positive 10 times negative 12 is equal to negative 120. And then when we add them, it equals negative 2. So we found it, but we do need to reduce. So on this side, 2 is our greatest common factor. So it'll be 4y over 5. And over here, 4 is our greatest common factor. So it's going to be 2y over negative 3. All right. So we've reduced the fractions as much as we can. And we're going to write down our answer. So it's going to be 4y, the numerator over here, plus 5. And then over here, it's going to be 2y minus 3. And that's our answer there. We can go ahead and double check by distributing out, and we will get this polynomial here. All right. So let's go and write our answers. Oh, I'm sorry. We're supposed to now solve for y. So here we have a 3 is equal to 0. We've factored out the polynomial. And if this is true, then either this factor is equal to 0 or that factor is equal to 0. So we need to solve for that over here. So we'll say 4y plus 5 is equal to 0. And we'll say 2y minus 3 is equal to 0. Right? So we'll solve for y by subtracting 5 from both sides. So we get 4y is equal to negative 5. Now we're going to divide by 4 on both sides, and we get y is equal to negative 5 over 4. And on this side, we're going to add 3 to both sides, and we get 2y is equal to 3. Divide by 2, and get y is equal to 3 over 2. So our answer here is y is equal to negative 5 over 4, or 3 over 2. So I'm going to put negative 5 over 4, or 3 over 2. Okay. And we just ignore that little scribble there.